So guys, arguably the most efficient way to improve your score is to hit more greens. And I'm going to show you in this video 3 moves that you absolutely have to avoid if you want to become a better iron player. And these 3 mistakes are all things I was doing in the past that made me terrible with irons. So if you can avoid these, you'll hit far more greens. So the first move you have to avoid is opening up your club face in the takeaway. This is huge. I used to do it back in the day too. It's very hard to be consistent when you're doing this, because if you open up that club face in the backswing, now you've got to do something to re-square it. So quite often that's going to be via stalling out your body turn and flipping the hands through the golf ball. That was me. I did that. So some days you could be brilliant with your timing. Everything just is on time. You're flipping through it. Nice hand release every time. But next day, turn up, you're terrible. You can't even hit the planet. And that is because you are relying on timing, because that club face is opening up. You need this club face to be stable to be able to do that. This is the main thing for me that changed me from hitting half the greens in my round to hitting 14 to 15 greens every single round. So almost above tour average. Of course, I play on normal golf courses, not tour golf courses. A lot of you play on normal golf courses too. Have to make this square. So to get this squarer club face in the backswing, we need to target why it happens, why it opens up for most people, like we said, is in that takeaway. Rolling those forearms, so a technical term, having too much left forearm pronation to where you can see the underside here, where my tattoo is rolling towards the ground, opens up the face. We need this drill here with a tee. So what we do, put the tee in the butt end of the club, just like that. Now what we do, we want in our takeaway to have a little bit of an exaggeration here. We want to feel like that tee is pointing at either our right leg as a very much an exaggeration, or at our belt buckle at shaft parallel to the ground. So let's say at our belt buckle for more of a standard looking takeaway. So we can see here, left forearm has stayed very passive, club head is slightly on the outside of the hands have gone in. To where if this tee now points away in that rolly forearm move, club head's gone in, it's opened up, it's not looking good. So let's get this tee pointing towards the belt buckle. We'll stop here, now we'll swing up, swing through. So if we can do that, we're going to have a far better chance to have a squarer club face. So then we don't need to rely on this ugly flip release going through the golf ball, because that club face would already be square to the arc approaching the ball. We don't need to square anything. So the second thing you must avoid here, and that is having a lack of lead arm depth at the top of your backswing. So when players have this lack of lead arm depth, they do 1 or 2 of these things here. Lead arm being vertically and high in this position will cause the club to move out to in going through the golf ball. So a lot of players who try to rotate from here, they cut across the ball, they slice it. Those are the players that will start to think rotation isn't good for you because it makes you swing over the top. Nice, because your left arm is far too high at the top of your swing. So a lot of players do that, or a lot of players will then have no rotation happen in a downswing, because again, that's going to get you to slice it with that lack of lead arm depth. So we'll see a player with a very arm dominant downswing. They hardly get open at all going through the shot. So that means their arms are going to pass through the shot with a lot of club face rotation. That was what I did around 8 years ago or so. Very, very inconsistent. I can tell you that firsthand. So what we want to be able to do is get that lead arm deeper. So lead arm being deeper, what does that mean? So depth really, if anything, means more behind. So a deeper left arm means more across your shoulder plane. So an adequate depth, really we don't want to see that right shoulder when we're looking at our golf swing on camera. We have to see our golf swing to be able to know if we're doing this or not. So look at that camera, see if your left arm is covering that shoulder plane. If it is, you're all good there. We don't want to see it too high or too low. If you're too low, you're going to hit it too into out. So let's do a drill to get this into your swing. So guys, the drill for this is with the good old swing plate. So this is a way to work on this to where you can nail this left arm position all the time. So again, we don't want it too high. So what we want to do, get a swing plate, set it up here, have the golf ball around halfway underneath it, and have the swing plate to where it's blocking that high position. So a little bit just over your shoulders here. So now all I want to do is swing and not hit it with my left arm. So a lot of players who also don't get that left arm low enough, they don't turn enough in the backswing. the more you rotate the backswing, the more round your hands are going to go. So that's going to help you get that left arm a little bit lower. So make sure you're turning, swing underneath this, and you're going to have a much better left arm position, which is create better path, better body movement in the downswing. So then we're going to hit way more greens. So guys, the third one you must avoid here is not shifting enough in the downswing. So I see a lot of players coming down without any or very small amounts of movement onto their lead side. So weight shift, pressure shift, so important, because that's what creates this ball than turf contact, really hitting nice, crisp iron shots. If you hang back and don't shift enough, you will always hit chunky shots. There's no way you're going to hit greens if you're mishitting it. So we need to get that weight shifting onto that lead side so we can have really good ball than turf contact every time. So my favorite drill here for this is by far the ball forward drill. So all we do, we put the ball at the front of our stance and we put the club out the middle of our stance. So we have this big gap between ball and club face. So all we do here, we just want to hit the ball. So hitting the ball with this setup position, you by nature have to shift a lot on your lead side to be able to do that. You can't hang back and you can't have even a minimal amount of shift because, again, you'll massively chunk it or you'll top it. So just hit that ball as well as you can. Try and make as good contact as you possibly can and make it that basic, that simple. Club out the middle, ball out the front. Good contact, there we go. We can see now the body has shifted forward to be able to do that because we've created the environment in our setup to force it to happen. The subconscious is a powerful thing. It will do it if you let it do it. So that's a great drill to do. And it helps tons of things other than that with club path, good width post impact. It's a brilliant, brilliant drill. You'd hit the ball further as well doing it. So guys, if you can avoid doing those three things and add in what you're meant to do, you're going to be hitting far more greens because those three elements, because those three moves there target the three things you need to do to play good golf. You need good club face control, making sure that club face is squarer. You need good path control, which is making sure we've got that good lead arm depth. And we also need good low point control, which is getting that shifting. We need those three to play good golf. Now you've got a way to practice them. So guys, huge news when it comes to my online lessons on Skillest. I have released 2 new subscription packages. The first one is the winter improvement package. So if you really want to make some huge improvements to your golf game over this winter time to have the best season you ever have next year, that is the one for you. And I've also released the Lite Subscription package. So guys, now has never been a better time to take online lessons with me. Now we've got all these options that can be perfectly tailored to yourself as an individual. 3 packages of subscriptions available and also 3 packages of normal lessons available. So if you've got any questions at all, you can ask me over on Skillest. There's a link in the description here to get straight to my coaching profile. I'm looking forward to talking to you and I'm looking forward to working with you. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button. If you want more golf instruction, just like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video. So get practicing these and you'll hit more greens.